These guys really know how to put the screws on.
Hey, how's it going? My name's Gareth James for MTT Poker School. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a huge pot where DPeters puts Daniel Dvoress to the test for all of it, and spoiler alert, neither player has better than ace high.
Dvoress opening here. DPeters is gonna be very sticky from his big blinds, as he should. You have money invested.
So the hand starts with Dvoress opening under the gun 6-handed to 13k at 3k, 6k with a 6k big blind ante with the ace of spades and the king of clubs, and Peters defends the big blind with the 8 of spades and a 7 of clubs. Pretty standard stuff so far, so let's go to the flop.
That's a really good flop for 8-7. He's gonna continuation bet this.
The flop comes 6 of clubs, jack of spades, 5 of spades. Peters checks and Dvoress bets 15k into 35k, a bet of just over 40% pot. Now, I gave the solver 3 bet sizes on the flop, 25% pot, the 42.8% size that Dvoress chose, and a larger size of 80% pot. As you can see, it's the smaller and the larger of the 3 bets that gets used most frequently, with the middling sizing used very, very rarely. Ace-king off does a lot of mixing here, but you can see that the combos with the ace of spades actually prefer going for the smaller sizing. Since the sizing that Dvoress chose is very rarely used, the solver solution and my subsequent analysis needs to be taken with a certain amount of caution, but it's already pretty interesting that he, for whatever reason, chose to go with this particular size and not the smaller bet as recommended by the solver.
These guys have like 35 big blinds. It's a flop. They can meet with a lot of resistance from the big blinds. DPeters gonna call pre-flop with a lot of hands that connect here, like he has now. So think about hands like 7-6, 8-6. Dvoress has the ace of spades, and that means he can bet any spade, ace, king, queen, jack, or 10. So
42.
DPeters is not going to give him the chance to make his life tough on future streets, and he check raises.
Versus the sizing Dvoress chose, you can see that Peters should raise his best top pairs like King Jack and Ace Jack, together with most of his 2 pairs like Jack 6 suited and 6-5, and then some combo draws, some flush draws, and some 4-out straight draws. 8-out straight draws are raised very infrequently, although if we take a closer look at Peters' actual hand, the 8 of spades, 7 of clubs, we can see that it is the combo that gets raised most frequently.
The flop. I assume with the intention of calling. Now, those backdoors still count for Daniel Dvoress. He's gonna call. Look at that.
Against this check raise, we can see that Dvoress should continue with any piece of the board. Sets, aces, some top pairs, all under pairs, second pairs and third pairs, low pairs with a spade, ace-queen plus, backdoor nut flush draw hands with a kicker higher than a 6, all king-queens, then all draws will continue through a call. Hands that like to raise here are kings and queens, his best top pairs, ace-king of spades and clubs, some ace-queen suited, and some flush draws. Now just a quick note here, I decided to cap the number of bets to each street to 3, since I think it's unlikely at just over 30 big blinds effective that there's going to be more than 3 bets on each street. I think it's much more likely that Dvoress will continue by calling or jamming here than by making a small 3-bet. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comments.
In this instance, he's right. That's the best hand. That is a complete brick. Now, DPeters has a decision to make. Did my opponent call me with a hand like ace-king or ace-queen? Maybe a hand like, you know, pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s that he could blow him off of. Or am I getting trapped here?
Hello? Oh.
The turn is the 5 of diamonds, and I'm actually really surprised to see Peters check here. Sure, the 5 of diamonds is not a great card, but it's certainly better than a 10, jack, queen, king, or ace. If we take a look at the strategy, you can see that there's a lot more checking going on when the equity drops below 44% with those cards I just mentioned. On the 5 of diamonds, you can see that there's still a decent amount of betting, mainly for a small sizing, often called a down bet. 8-7 off is a very high frequency bet here, although again we can see that with his exact holding, the 8 of spades and 7 of clubs, there is a tiny amount of checking.
DPeters checks. Dvoress using a time bank chip. Problem with checking is that if DPeters is a hand like the one you currently see, you give that hand a free look at a 30% equity stake in the pot.
When checked to on this turn, Dvoress does do a decent amount of checking back, choosing to bet his value hands like aces, top pair and trips for a small sizing, together with some king queens, some nothing type hands like queen x of clubs, 8 of spades, 7 of spades, some flush draws and some 4 out straight draws. Ace king off is pretty much a pure check back.
He's gonna check. That's a break. DPeters is gonna have to bet at this to win it. Wow. That is aggressive. That's an overbet. DPeters.
On the 3 of spades river, we can see that the solver suggests using the block sizing rather than a jam. His exact combo, the 8 of spades, 7 of clubs, bets this small size at close to full frequency, so again I'm pretty surprised to see Peters empty the clip here and put Dvoress to the test for all of it.
There's definitely some hands that DPeters could check raise on the flop and then slow play on future streets. I'm thinking specifically about some 5s, of course. 6-5, Jack 5. definitely in the range of DPeters. What a spot! He blocked the nut flush. This is what these tournaments are all about: fierce competition. Trust me, when you play this at your local casino, you have to call one bet with ace king on the turn, and that might be it. These guys really know how to put the screws on.
Against the jam, Dvoress should call all hands top pair and better. So trips, flushes, boats, quads, aces, and most top pairs. Then all ace-6 suited and king-6 suited, and some pocket fours with a spade. Although the EV here is very, very low. Most ace highs are going to be folds, although there is a tiny amount of calling with ace-king with a spade blocker, but again the EV is very, very low. In these elite level tournaments where the edges are so small or thin, these more marginal spots do have to be taken, but I definitely wouldn't recommend this in most low and mid stakes tournaments online.
Can he pull this off? He has the best hand, but look at his action here. 175,000. This man has ice in his veins. Oh my goodness, is he about to make this call? This would be one of the biggest calls in the tournament for me, personally, and I think you guys would agree. Oh my god. Oh, I can't even imagine what it must be like for DPeters right now. Sweating when you see your opponent grab those chips.
Okay, that's going to do it for today's video. If you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button right now. My name's Gareth James for MTT Poker School. I'll be back soon with a brand new video, but until then, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Oh my god, what a call. That is ridiculous.